welcome.
Welcome.
New episode of Cut to the Feels. It's been a minute, guys. We apologize. We're very busy gals, but we're trying our best, and we're going to be more consistent from now. We have a new business model. So from behind the scenes, it's new and improved, even though you might not see from the outside. But today, guys, we have our very first guest on Cut to the Feels. And it is the man that got me into movies in the first place. Since I was a little kid, my brother, Minasse.
Thank you,
Welcome,
guys. Thank
Minasse.
you for having me. Very honored to be the first guest of Cut to the Feels.
I'm very happy that you were the first guest with us.
Thank you.
We are honored. You are a huge supporter, and we really, really are grateful for that, Minasse. It really helps us keep pushing forward.
Of course.
Yeah.
We love the
But
feedback
anyways,
and encouragement.
yeah, before we get into all that kind of stuff, how has the past couple weeks been? Soli, let's start with you.
It's been pretty great. Thank God for the sun. I can leave my house. I can walk back from work. I can walk to work. And I can leave my house during the weekends, like officially. So it's been great. Everything else has been super cool. Just planning summer trips, and my sister is graduating high school soon, so like getting super excited for all of that. Yeah, that's basically what I have on my side. What about you, Minasse?
No, last couple of weeks have been cool. Besides the weather being, ugly, still, enjoying. I'm still enjoying my new home. I've grown accustomed to it. Enjoying the neighborhood, and I got to hang out with my friend from Florida a couple weeks ago, so that was really fun. Spent the whole weekend together. And yeah, pretty much same old. Work is good.
It's true. Minasse disappeared on me that weekend. It's very true. He was having a good time, and he canceled on me. But it's fine.
Well, I did invite you.
You did invite me.
You rejected.
Okay, Mary. You left
did.
the house.
Yeah. So don't put it on me.
Fair. I'm not going to respond. That's fair. You did invite me out. For context, Minasse, I recently moved out, so he's been enjoying that for sure. I've been on some trips, and they've been fun. I love my job, honestly. It's very busy, but it is incredibly rewarding. And it's not just one-off times. I feel like there's at least once a month where I'm like, oh my God, I love this job. So I feel very lucky. It's been a really good reminder. But I'm tired. I'm tired. But no, it's been nice. It's been a lot of socializing also. I was actually, Minasse and I were, our aunt visited us last week. We were at our parents' house, and she was asking me how everything was going, and then she was like, so you don't have a social life? I was like, I didn't say that.
Is she wrong?
I didn't say that. Yeah,
I'm
no.
implying it a little bit, but
No, it's just when somebody says like, how's everything going? I'm not like, oh, and I saw my friend last week and then yesterday, and that's not how I answer. And so I guess it comes off that way, but no, not at all. But more trips coming up, so I'm excited. I'm really excited. But things are good. I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm loving the weather also. I mean, here on the East Coast, it's been still fluctuating, but it's just nice that the sun goes down late, regardless of the temperature. Because I feel like I can get more done in the evening. Because when it's dark, I'm like, well, time to get ready for bed. So I have been enjoying that. All right, so Minasse, we are going to start this episode with a quick game. It's called This or That. You probably know it. So it's kind of like a rapid fire. We're going to give you rapid fire questions, and you have to answer as quickly as possible, like literally like 3 seconds. So
Okay.
Sonia and I are going to take turns asking you, and we're going to get to know your movie. It's all movie based, so we're gonna get to know your taste, and then maybe we'll even get into some small arguments. We'll see. Maybe we'll agree. We'll disagree.
There's some spicy questions here, Minasse. You better be ready.
Okay. I'm excited. We'll see how this goes.
And then I feel like everyone is also going to pick up on there's a bit of a throwback vibe, like because obviously Minasse and I watched a lot of movies together as kids, and so if you sense the Disney Nickelodeon thing, it's because that's where kind of the tension is between us, and to see where we fall. So please in advance forgive me for that. But anyways, okay, I'll start with the first question, Minasse. All right. Indie movie or big budget blockbuster?
I guess. I mean, at this point, I say both. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we accepting that as an answer? So
Because
You know-
like I don't know. I feel like over time, my movie taste has grown a lot that I'm now consuming both.
okay,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
fair. Okay, let's say like right now.
Okay,
Like this week.
as of right now, okay, this week I would say big blockbuster. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love.
But it can change, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So second question: slow burn romance or love at first sight?
Love at first sight.
Love. Same with your sister.
Okay, number 3. Subtitles or dubbed? Like when it comes to foreign films.
Subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like dub.
Soli, your subtitles,
That's
right?
the right answer. Yeah, that's the right answer,
Yeah.
Minasse.
Because it's like they don't mouth the words, you know what I mean? So it's so
It doesn't match.
confusing. Like Mary would even say, like, our mom, when she watches like international movies or shows, she does it dubbed. I'm like, it doesn't bother you that what they're saying doesn't match? She's like, no. I'm like, nah, like can't do
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't fit with me
Any
either.
foreign film I watch it with subtitles. Whether it's
My hand is
stupid,
raised.
whether it's whatever. You know?
My hand is raised. Here's the thing, though. I also, at times, I like to just have movies on in the background. Like, I don't want to be like have my full focus on the TV screen. And so, like, if I'm doing something else at the same time, I sometimes will change the language just so I can hear the story as I'm like doing other things. Because if I look at my phone for 10 seconds, it's over. I have to rewind. So I'm just gonna say it depends on the vibe of the night. Like if I'm like, oh, okay, I'm watching TV tonight, or if it's just like I am watching this very long soap and I want it in the background. There's a difference.
That's a fair take.
Okay, that is fair. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. I'll give you that. It's just for
Okay.
me, I can't do it. Yeah.
I'm with you on this one, Minasse.
Yeah.
Okay. Crying in the theater or holding it in?
Holding it in. I mean,
That's a very masculine answer. Why? What are you
you don't want to like. You're around strangers. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like I'd rather
You
cry
be
at my
crying, though.
I'd rather
You be
cry at my
crying.
own home than at a movie theater. I don't know. No, I'd rather.
You be
I'd rather-
crying though.
Huh?
You be crying though in the movie theater.
Not in the movie theater. Not in the movie theater. At home, sometimes. Not in the movie theater. In the movie theater, like, there's a difference between getting emotional and crying. I get emotional in the movie theater, but I don't cry.
Okay, what movie has made you cry the most?
Oh, shoot. The most...
What movie has like name one movie that made you cry?
I'll give you one.
Okay.
And this is gonna sound silly, but it's something that when I first watched it, I cried when I was a kid, and when I go back to it, it still makes me cry.
Don't say The Lion King. It doesn't
No,
count.
not the Lion King.
Okay.
This is a silly answer. It's Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire one. The reason why that makes me cry is because
Interesting.
have you guys? I know you've seen it. Have you seen it, Soli?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So the scene when when Flint Marco becomes Sandman. You know, when he's in that like tube and he forms and he tries to grab his daughter's locket, but he can't grab it because of I don't know. And the music in the background with the piano, that always gets me. It always gets me because when you understand his background and you feel for him, and he tries to grab the daughter's locket and the piano in the background, that makes me cry. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you're an empath, Minasse, and I mess with that. I mess with that.
An empath.
I don't know what that means.
Like empathy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Very
So that's one
empathetic.
example. Yeah.
He is an empath. I can confirm.
Okay.
Cool. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lizzie McGuire movie or the Cheetah Girls?
Lizzie. Hillary Duff all day.
Oh, you're right. She's great.
Hillary Duff, baby. Yeah.
She's really good.
You're
Yeah.
gonna.
I like Cheetah Girls, but
You're gonna
they
leave
ain't,
out Reagan
they ain't
like
touching
that?
Hillary Duff.
I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna leave that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Disney Channel original movie or Nickelodeon live action?
Disney Channel original. Yeah. When it comes to the movies, I don't think Nickelodeon has reached the peaks that Disney has. Personally, yeah.
I second that.
Okay. So animated sidekick. Okay.
Okay, animated.
Who's a better sidekick?
Okay.
Mushu from Mulan or Olaf from Frozen?
Olaf. I love Olaf. He makes me laugh. Listen.
It's an impossible
You know what?
question.
I feel like it depends on what mood you're in. Like, I like comical side characters. And
It's funny.
Olaf is funnier.
Olaf is just like oblivious. That's what's funny about him. Mushu is like actively funny, like consciously funny. You know,
You're not wrong. I don't know. I feel like Olaf stands out more.
Olaf is funny.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Miri? Your reaction was kind of severe as well.
Like, in preparing these questions, I was like, this is hard.
Okay.
I think that Mushu's funnier throughout, and Olaf has awesome moments. So it is difficult to pick. But the thing is, I really thought Minasse was going to say Mushu because he loves Eddie Murphy. It's
Listen,
Eddie, right?
and I do love Eddie Murphy. If we're talking about voice actors, Josh Gad is not touching Eddie Murphy. I'm just talking about the character himself. That's it.
And that was the question. But I
like Mushu.
I'm more surprised by your answer. Yeah, but it's a really hard question.
If I were to rank the characters that Eddie Murphy has played, I don't think Mushu is in the top 5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soli, are you Mushu?
I'm Team Mushu. Yeah, if you can
Okay,
tell.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I can see both sides.
Yeah.
100%. A24 or Marvel?
That's like apples and oranges. Like, come on. Like, I mean, okay. I guess Marvel because I am a nerd. Like, I like comic book stuff, but I do love A24. So I guess, what?
On any given day, are you more likely to watch a Marvel movie or which one brings you more?
I mean, yeah. I guess I'll go with Marvel.
Okay.
But I do love A24. Yeah.
Okay. Watching trailers or going in totally blind?
Damn. Y'all be asking some really good questions. Jeez. Man. Watching trailers or going
It's
in...
almost like you're my brother, and I knew what would get you.
Man. I guess... it depends on the movie. That's what I'll say. It depends on the movie. Like, if it's a movie that I am, highly anticipating, I do want to get a glimpse of what I'm going to see. The problem is sometimes trailers be showing too much. They be showing too much sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with trailers. So it depends. If it's a movie that's I don't know. It depends on the movie. That's all I can say. Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Minasse. Like, sometimes I personally like to go in blind because if they reveal even a millisecond of, like, the initial plot, I will be guessing, like, I will know what's going to happen. I feel like a lot of people do that. So it's just gonna ruin
there are
it.
very few times when the trailer, like, is completely different from what the movie is, like, because they'll hide so many important things. But most of the time, like, so one of my friends, right, one of my college friends, when I remember when all of us were anticipating Infinity War, he didn't watch any of the trailers, and I was like, how did you do that? Because it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram. When we go to the movies and they show Infinity War, he runs out of the theater room and he's like, text me when it's done. That's how dedicated he was. And I was like, man, I respect that.
He doesn't play. He wasn't
playing. Yeah. So
here's my thing. I can't watch a movie without knowing anything about it. Like, if it's not a trailer, somebody has to tell me something or I have to read something. I can't watch something not knowing anything. That's me. I need to know. Because otherwise I'm going to waste my time. But I know Soli notoriously does not watch trailers.
Yeah.
But Mare, what if it's like a movie that, like, you know what to expect, you're really anticipating it? Let's say if it's, I don't know, like a Mamma Mia 3. Do you want to go in blind or do you want to see the trailer?
But I know I have... I'm not going in blind. I want to know the vibe. I want to know the vibe.
You don't want to hear like do you want to be like, you want to go in blind with the music? Like, you don't want to hear any snippets of it or the story?
The story I need to know a little bit. I need to
really
know.
okay.
Like for if you know, in the case of Mamma Mia, if they were just like, oh, Mamma Mia 2 is out, go into the movie theater, I would be like, tell me a little bit. Like, what I knew was they're going back into the past of when Donna was young. But that's all I need to know. But I need to know something.
Yeah. No, fair.
But I am also, I totally agree that there are trailers that tell me the whole story, and I'm like, well, I'm not watching it now.
Yeah. Kind of.
That's common. I totally agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Next question. Shake It Up or Victorious?
Shake it up.
Oh man, I guess Victorious because I watched it more than Shake It Up. I think Shake It Up I only watched 3 or 4 episodes, but Victorious, I mean, we pretty much binged that when we were young. But Shake It Up, we didn't really binge.
We didn't watch it as much as Victorious for sure, but
Yeah.
I really liked Shake It Up.
Shake It Up was cool. It was cool.
So, do you have thoughts?
I've only watched a bit of both. So no strong feelings.
No passion? Okay.
Yeah.
I like Victorious more.
Okay, 3 left.
All right, go ahead.
Wizards of Waverly Place or That's So Raven?
That's a Raven.
Yeah.
I like Wizards of Waverly Place, but I grew up. But I've consumed more of That's So Raven, so yeah, I gotta go with that.
That was your first rapid answer. Good job.
I support that.
Yeah, it's like now the questions have gotten easier before they were harder.
Okay.
High School Musical 2 or High School Musical 3?
High School Musical. What was the second one?
2 or 3?
Oh, two. Better music, better story.
That was too rapid.
This is the best one of the trilogy. No, I've said it. I said it.
Mary has some thoughts.
There is no song in High School Musical 3 that's better than Bet on It and I Don't Dance, in my opinion.
Mary.
Scream.
It ain't touching Bet on It.
Scream?
It's good. Bet on It is here. Scream is like here. Yeah. Also, I think High School Musical 1 is the worst of the 3. It's not bad, it is the worst.
That's why 2 or 3 was the question.
I do have a hot take though. All in This Together is the most overrated song in the High School Musical franchise. I don't care for it. I really don't.
I feel like it's the most played, like, globally.
I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't care for it, and I don't care for the dance either. Like, nah.
It's very iconic. You can't.
It is iconic.
Yeah.
just because something's iconic doesn't mean you always like it. You know what I mean?
If I were to play it, it would be not to enjoy the music. It would be for throwback purposes, like to. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like, there's some High School Musical songs where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this song. Like, I would play it on a normal day. But like that, I would never. It's not making any playlist. It would just be for throwback purposes.
Exactly. You're not bumping in the whip with All in This Together. You're
No.
Not. Yeah. Or if you're working out or whatever. No, you ain't doing that.
I'm not.
It's true.
High School Musical 2 is the best. Yeah. The drama.
We need to further unpack that another day.
Yeah. Oh,
but
did you tell Soli the last time you watched High School Musical 2? I was literally saying line after line after line, and I was just on the other side.
No. Yeah, so we were at our...
Because we watched it so many times, I was surprised at how many lines I remembered. Like,
That's
it's
crazy.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
Yuri was shocked.
I've never watched the movie Minasse, and the high school they filmed it at is like literally like a 5-minute drive from my house.
I think Mary told me that.
Yeah.
But like, how did you miss the High School Musical era? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like, I don't know, Minasse. I'm with you. I need to watch it. I'm missing out actively.
The next time we have a hangout, we're gonna watch one of them.
Yes.
You definitely should. You definly should. Yeah.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think any other Disney original movie is more iconic than High School Musical. Like, there's nothing.
I am with you.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And it was everywhere.
I'm with you.
Like, I think High School Musical 3 was the only one that came out in theaters. But 1 and 2 were just released on Disney Channel. Yeah. And we watched it in theaters at Edna Mall. I remember.
I have no recollection.
Oh, you don't? You were probably too young, but I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
What a time.
Crazy.
So we are gonna watch at least one of them.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of rewatching Grey's Anatomy right now, not from the beginning, but there are these episodes that I'm like, she has to see this.
Okay. Am I gonna get the context?
And so remember that. Yeah, I'll give you context and everything.
It's gonna be the
Okay.
plot, so we will remember.
Yes. All right. So Minasse, last question:
Let's go.
iCarly
or Hannah Montana? There is a right answer.
I you already know it's Hannah Montana. Who would have thought that out of all the Disney TV shows that Hannah Montana would be like our number one? I don't know how. Like,
she's just too good.
well, it's not just her. I mean, you know, my favorite character is Jackson.
Yeah, no, I think honestly, I really think it's the casting.
It could be. You got
I think it's the
Rico,
casting.
you got Oliver, you got Lily.
It's the casting.
Robbie Ray. I mean, they're all
Even
great.
Robbie Ray, yeah, it's the casting.
They're
It's
all
the casting.
great. They're all great. Yeah, but easily. I mean, I like iCarly, but yeah.
Love.
Actually, I actually I think a couple years ago, I was just curious. I looked at one of the iCarly clips, and yeah, it did not age well. Like, I just don't. It don't hit the same. You know, like I can say that about most Disney Nickelodeon shows. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only one that still makes me laugh, one of the few, is Drake and Josh.
Oh,
Like, Drake
that's
and
a
Josh
good.
still cracks me up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's a good one. Okay, love. So, Minasse is gonna be reading the plot for the movie we picked out today. We wanted to discuss Anora on today's episode, so Minasse, please take it away with the short summary.
Alrighty. Anora is a 2024 film directed by Sean Baker that follows the life of Anora, Annie Bekiva, a young stripper from Brooklyn's Brighton Beach. Fluent in Russian, Annie works at a Manhattan strip club where she meets Ivan, aka Vanya. The affluent son of a Russian oligarch. Vanya hires Annie to be his girlfriend for a week, leading to a whirlwind romance that culminates a spontaneous marriage in Las Vegas. However, upon returning to New York, Vanya's parents disapprove of the union and send enforcers to annul the marriage, forcing Annie to confront the complexities of her relationship and her own identity. So the film is noted for its raw portrayal of the sex industry and the emotional turmoil experienced by its characters. Mikey Madison's performance as Annie has been widely praised, earning her several awards, including Best Actress at the BAFTAs, but also Best Actress at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Indeed.
There you go.
Okay. So,
You want to take it
where
away
do
with
we
the
begin?
themes?
I actually wanted to ask Minasse, so you were the one that picked Anora, and you were the one that wanted to talk about it with us. So why did you pick it?
So the reason why I picked it is because, well, one, it was a pretty modern film. I mean, maybe not as modern right now, but so that, and also it was definitely one of the biggest surprises for me of the movies that came out last year, because I've heard buzz about it and I never heard of Mikey Madison, but when I saw the trailer it looked interesting and it definitely surprised me, and it was definitely I think it was in my top 5 movies of last year, because every year I rank my movies that I've seen and I put a top 10 on my letterbox. This was in my top 5 and I really, really enjoyed it, and it made me curious to check out Sean Baker's other films. Actually, he has one called The Florida Project. It's on Max. I highly recommend you to watch it. If you want to review it or not, it's up to you, but definitely watch The Florida Project. Sean Baker is definitely a talented filmmaker. But yeah, no, I loved the film. Yeah. Well,
May I ask,
later on, but you guys. Yeah.
what was your top movie of 2024?
Yeah.
It was, so my number 1 was Doom Part 2 last year. Hey.
She hasn't even watched it yet, no?
It's everywhere. Every time. I look up, I look right, dude.
But you're not a sci-fi girly, so I'm not.
She would love it, though. She just
think
never
you
gave
would.
it a chance.
I think you would.
Tis true. I've never given it a chance, and
Yeah.
Anyways.
You should.
Yeah, and it got disrespected by the Oscars, which I'm still pissed off at. But
Yeah.
But yeah, Doom Part 2. What else was there? Actually, I have my list here. I could read it for you.
Yeah. I wanted your letterbox.
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned you here regarding Anora. The fact that it was I forget the exact word you just used. But huh?
Was it modern?
Modern, and you did say it was the most, like, the plot twist was the most interesting, or something along those lines. Like, was the most unexpected?
Surprising.
Surprising.
Yeah. It was definitely surprising.
What about it was surprising to you?
I find it. I was gonna say surprising wouldn't be in my list of words to describe it.
Surprising as in you didn't like
the
it?
last scene. The last scene, I was like, okay, I need to further unpack that. Everything else, I was like,
That what? Really?
That's kind of how I felt too, yeah.
yeah. No, what was surprising to you?
For me, what was surprising, and I'm surprised you didn't say it, it was the tonal shift that the movie takes after the first act. Because the first act is literally, okay, this is a drama. But you didn't expect it to be a comedy drama after the first act. Literally after the first act, I was in the movie theater laughing my ass off because it just got so funny. It's so funny. I mean, should
It
we
was
get
funny.
Into, wait, should we get into spoilers or should we still...
Yeah, spoil.
Okay. So literally the first 15 to 20 minutes, you're thinking to yourself, okay, like, this is what sex workers go through. This is what it's like being in a strip club. And it made me realize how easy it is for strippers to exploit men. They could compliment you even if you're ugly, just to take money out of your pocket. They'll like flirt with you.
But they went to be exploited. I mean, why did they?
They did. But it is their I guess ploy. It's their like way to like take money out of your pocket.
It's a routine, yeah.
It is a routine. But and here's an interesting fact: Sean Baker actually talked to actual sex workers to make this movie as authentic as possible. And Mikey Madison learned from those sex workers how to dance like a stripper, how to talk like a stripper, yada yada. So
she got the accent down. She was really good.
Oh yeah, she definitely did.
Great performance.
But the tonal shift, I mean, that was completely out of nowhere.
You're right. I
You know
guess
what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely like you can tell the separation between like the first half and the second half, and you're like, nobody said this was a comedy movie, you know?
Right.
Yeah, the vibes shifted.
Yeah.
Right.
But plot wise, I mean, you know.
I mean, yeah, sure. Plot wise, it was
Yeah.
still there. It
Not
was
that
just
it was a
confusing
bad
tone.
plot. It's just, you know, it'd be
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I do have a
But
question.
I
though.
do want to say, in terms of the first act, they did. I actually felt like I was in the club. Like, I've never been to a strip club per se, but the energy, I don't know if it was the sound people, I don't know if it was the director, I don't know what aspect it was, but I was like, this is literally the club vibes. It really was.
Yeah.
So that was very immersive. I think they did really well.
But so what did y'all think of Vanya when you first saw him? Like when Annie, you know, starts talking to Vanya, what was your first impression of him? And obviously we'll talk about how he transitioned later on, but what'd you think of him first?
I thought he was underage. I was like, what's this little boy doing there? He's just a boy. I was like, how did he get there? That was my first impression. Very like, you know, he's
Sweet.
he's a boy. He's trying to be a man.
Like,
yeah.
he seemed so simple, so
Innocent,
stereotypical.
kind of, a little bit. Yeah.
So, yeah,
You know, when
he
your
really.
friends dare you, they're like, I dare you to go to a strip club. Like, that's kind of the feeling I got for him. You're like, prove you're a man. He's like, you know what, I'll do it. Like, that's what I feel
He's just a boy. He really was giggling and kikiing, and you know what I mean. So when I met the guy, I was like, you know, actually, low-key, I was a little bit relieved for Vanya for Anora, Annie, because I was like, at least he's not gonna mess with her. Because sometimes when it's like, there are men that come that are a little more aggressive than others, and I was like, the fact that he's a little kid, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fun one for her. Like, it's gonna be a light work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is a light, because, you know, in general, it did feel like a heavy scene where it was like, you know, she's trying to make money and she's, you know, it's a work setting. It's like, and then sometimes, you know, as a viewer, sometimes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. But for him, when he came along, I was like, it doesn't seem like a hard thing for her to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What did you feel, Minasse?
Yeah, no, I definitely I thought he was a little interesting, you know, the fact that he was young. And when he invited her home to her place, I was like, okay, this guy lives in a mansion. He's filthy rich. We don't know much about him. And I remember it was like, I think it was a weekly routine that they had. Like every week she would come to him and they would hang out and whatever.
No, it was for a week-long thing.
It was a week-long thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
What was it, 10K or something?
Yeah. So here's another question I have for y'all. When he proposed to her, it's like, hey, let's make this a permanent thing. And she was like, hey, give me 50 carats and then we'll do it, whatever. And they get married in Vegas. Did y'all buy into the relationship or did you think, I don't know if they're really in love with each other or not? Like at this
Very
point,
good question.
At this point,
Very good question. It needs to be unpacked heavily, though. Because at the start, you know, when she got her 10K, I was like, period. I was like, get it. I was, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big payday for her. And I was like, I feel like it's not going to make a dent in Yvonne's pocket. So I was like, go off, you know, whatever. It's fine. It seemed like a great situation. And then when the marriage talk came, I was like, seriously, sis? Like, come on. Like, you know? But then once they were seriously in the sense that, you know, she seems like a really smart girl. Like, she takes care of herself. She, you know, everything that she does is for her. You know, she's making her own money. This is, you know, even the fact that she became a sex worker, she is hustling. Like, she's making it by herself. She has nobody to support her. And then when the marriage thing came out, I was like, I thought you were highly intelligent. What's going on here? And then slowly, obviously, you dive in. But ultimately, the scene that you're talking about, Minasse, it's the romantic in me. I ate it up. I loved it. I think we all know the scene we're talking about where it's like amusement park vibes and they're running around and making out. I loved it. I was like, this is it's like the epitome of a night out, where there's love in the air and everything is. I'm really picking my words here, but you know when everything's just going really well, and it's a night out. I think maybe it's the hopeless romantic in me. I was like, I'm so glad they did it. And the next morning, I was like, well, reality. So I really bought into the moment. Again, maybe that's kudos to Sean Baker.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with that scene. But overall, I was like, I can't believe she actually entertained it and she actually got married, knowing that he's a little boy, knowing that he's not, it's not his own life. Like, it's not his money. She knows. I mean, she knows he doesn't work. She knows all of these things. So I was a little bit like, I felt bad for her. I think she got caught up in the American dream idea, and then she got bought into it. So I feel bad. I'm not saying she's stupid. Yeah. I think we all just want good things for ourselves, and she was hoping it was something that obviously it wasn't.
Yeah,
I really don't see any universe where that would work.
I mean, she wanted to get out of the situation that she's in. So that was definitely a huge thing to motivate her. But I had a feeling you would buy into it because
I loved it.
I had a feeling you would. Yeah. How about you?
Like to your point, Mary, of like her being intelligent. I think this is probably the most intelligent move she could have made. First of all, I think what's his name? Ivan. I think his question was kind of premeditated to a degree. Like, he wanted to escape his life. Like, he wanted to be an American boy. She was kind of the easiest way there. He just had to marry an American woman. Mm-hmm. And even though he brought it up in a playful way, like, he knew, once they're married, he's just free. From her side, she's literally marrying into this multi-millionaire family. It's giving her, even if she had to divorce the guy in 2 days, it would be a big payout, is what I'm thinking. Like, obviously, there's an element of, like, romance there, but it was, like, she thought about it for, like, 5 seconds. She was like, ha, 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 and then she was like, actually, that's enemy. Why do you think that is, Like, it was thought out, is my take. I don't know.
I mean, if we take just a very, like, if it was Ivan's father, like, if she... if this guy was rolling into the strip club and then he loved her so much or whatever, he wanted to keep going, and then he was like, let's get married, marry him. He has autonomy over his life. But this is like, it's basically like almost like signing a contract with an employee when the boss has nothing to do with the deal. Like, you know what I mean? I think if she really, really thought it out, she would know that this was not going to work. It's not like she has a lawyer. Like, if she really thought it out, I think she could have just kept doing a month by month, 6 months at a time, pay me up front kind of thing. Because there is no way. And it's not like he didn't hint that his parents would be against it. He did say that his parents would be against it. Mm-hmm. And she still did it. You know what I mean? Like, logically, sure. But in this, he's a little boy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, if I were her, I probably would just hope that it would work and marry him.
Yep.
Anyways.
Until it didn't.
But yeah.
I think for me, I mean, of course, what we're talking about, everything that happened in the first act, I definitely enjoyed it. But I don't know about y'all, but I enjoyed the second half of this movie way more than the first half. Which half did y'all enjoy more?
Second half was more eventful, for sure.
Yeah, but which one did you enjoy more?
I did enjoy the second half more.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say first half.
No.
Okay. But yeah, like the second half, like I said, I definitely enjoyed it way more because I was trying to figure out, like, how in the hell did Taurus, like, how did they? Well, not just Taurus is the guy with the mole.
Yeah, Toro, yeah, whatever. Taurus.
Yeah, but like, and again, it's been a while since I've watched this movie, but I'm trying to remember how they found out that Vanya married Annie in Vegas. Like those two guys that were helping Taurus. How does that come about? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I know those guys told him, and he was busy baptizing the baby. And then he gets the call.
Yeah.
He says, all right, show me
really
proof.
did.
And he's like,
Yeah.
no. And he literally leaves the baptism. Oh my God, that was so funny. Oh, man.
Why do you think that they wanted to make Toro a priest or whatever?
Why do I think they made... Why do I think...
Why was he a priest? Yeah, in the story. Why did they write him to be a priest?
Probably because out of the three men that, including him, that barged into the house, he was probably the most righteous one out of the three. Like, he was the most logical. And I think for someone to be logical, I feel like that's like a characteristic for somebody to have if they have an occupation in that field. That's just a guess that I have, because those other two guys, they don't know what the heck. Well, they don't know what the heck they're doing. Taurus is more reasonable, you know. Even though his actions were extreme, when he got in the house, he organized things better than what's the bald guy's name?
Igor.
Igor
And the other guy. So I think that's why, but they never explained why. So that's a good question.
I think it's kind of to throw people off. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody would suspect a priest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's totally true. And then also I was like, maybe they also wanted to show how deeply rooted the Ivan's family's ties are. Like, they're literally in the churches and all. Like, the puppets that they're controlling all the way from Russia are just so deep-rooted.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way... I think it was to reinforce the fact that there is no way Anora can win. Like, they're everywhere. They're in the church. They're so corrupt. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that was kind of... Maybe that was part of it. Because... Yeah, I feel like it was inevitable. Do you guys think it was inevitable?
I think so, because, I mean, Russians, especially in the media, they're typically portrayed as the ones that, you know, whenever there are extreme situations, it requires extreme measures. And they will do whatever it takes. It's true.
Right. He's right.
And I think this movie, you know, exemplified that. Yeah. But, okay, so did y'all expect Vanya to dip?
He was so late for that. Such a baby boy.
I was like, what a sissy.
You literally
I
have
don't
a
think
wife.
PG-13, that's why I said sissy. But go ahead.
No, he was lame. That was lame.
Yeah.
What do you think marinara sauce?
Bro, that was the craziest moments of the whole movie, in my
Are you
opinion.
coming with me or no?
Whole movie, that was the craziest moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
But that just...
He was like, let's go. And then she's like, let me put some pants on. And he was like, peace.
No, we don't have time. Da-da-da.
That's
He
crazy.
dipped.
Yeah.
No, but I think that was important for Anora to understand that he has no self-confidence, no backbone.
No.
I think if he stayed, she would have been more inclined to fight for it. But I think that, you know how some people, you know, like even day-to-day relationships, sometimes when you're in it, you're in denial and you need your friends or your parents, somebody to be like, girl, wake up. I feel like she wasn't in denial. Like, I think partially, or like whatever she was fronting to like the Toros and his people was like, I'm married. But I think deep down, that ended it for her, at least emotionally.
Right.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
Was Anora a gold digger, a survivor, or a romantic? And it kind of ties into this concept right now.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say, but was she ever in love with him?
That's a very... Yeah, that's what I was trying to think in my head.
Wait, okay, let's start with the first one. Is she a gold digger?
I mean...
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
you're a stripper, you're a sex worker, you're digging for gold. It's just
It's kind of part of the job, no?
Yeah.
The only thing the only argument we can make against that is, did she love him?
I think she did. But I want you guys' opinion, and then we can dive deeper into that.
No, do you think she
that's
loved
what's
him?
so interesting about this movie is that there's a lot of ambiguity. Like, you could literally have many different interpretations of this, especially in the ending. We'll get there, but for now, does she? Yeah, that's. Oh man, did she or did she not? I definitely think. You know what? Yes and no. Yes and no. That's what I'll say. Yes, because
Unpack.
yes, because even though
That's my
Vanya-
favorite answer.
Because even though Vanya left, she still somewhat cared about him. Because when they were searching, they were like, "Okay, where is Vanya?
Her
What's
source
going
of
on?"
money. If he doesn't live, she doesn't get the payout. She doesn't get the alimony. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, anywho, sorry.
Now that you're saying it, it's like I'm trying to give her some leeway, but now when I think about it, it's like you just want to keep this marriage intact because of your financial stability. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, even when they found, I know I'm fast forwarding, but even when they found him after a long night of searching, she was still fighting for the marriage, even though she agreed that they would get annulled. Deep down, she's like, no, I'm still going to fight for this. But at the end of the day, she lost. But yeah, I guess.
You want to go next, sis?
I have, yeah. So my take on this is, you know how for a lot of people who are in heavy industries, they want to create a divide between their work life and their personal life. Like, if you noticed, Anora called herself Annie most of the time until she got close to you, and then she's like Anora. You know what I'm saying? So Anora and Annie are very different people. And with the time she spent with Ivan, she was initially Annie, doing her little job. And then after they got married and after they got closer, she was Anora. She was speaking Russian to him. She was opening up per se. Mm-hmm. So she did develop this emotional attachment to him. And I think that is something that's really hard, especially for a sex worker, right? Because you really have to detach your emotions from the person you're with. And the fact that she even had that trust in him was a lot for her already. And when he abandoned her, which is the initial expectation for a sex worker, that really did numbers on her. So I think that's kind of why she wanted to fight. I don't know if it's necessarily the marriage, but it's the fear of abandonment, that kind of she did not want to have.
That's good.
So that's my take. What about you?
So I'm glad you said that, because I would like to add on that. So I thought about this before the pod, right before we recorded this. So I think she definitely loved what he provided and the lifestyle and the stability. I think she never had stability in her life until she met this man, even though if it was a number of weeks, she never had that stability. She never had that hope. And I think she did love, maybe she loved him for what he provided her. But so even off camera, we've talked about loving someone because of how they make you feel and what they do for you versus loving someone because of who they are.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what is there to love about this man? He parties, he plays video games, he does drugs, he drinks, he sleeps, he has sex, he does on repeat. What is there is no way that Anora, that very intelligent, hardworking, all that woman loves that about him. Loves him for his personality. Maybe she loves that he took a chance on her. She probably loves that maybe he loves her, but there's nothing even there to love other than what he can provide.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then, there's no way she loved him. Maybe, you can love a lifestyle, you can love, you know what I mean?
Right. She loved the fairy tale, but not him. The fairy tale.
What is there to love? Literally, what is there to love?
Yeah. You're so right. Yeah.
His video game skills.
Right.
But then, okay, now let's flip it. Did he love her?
No. The second he got the chance, he went and was getting lap dance from her rival.
Yeah. And he didn't even want to fight for the marriage. He didn't want to stand up to his parents or nothing.
But that has nothing to do with Anora.
If he was truly in love with Annie, he'd be like, no, Mom and Dad, I'm staying with her. you know, something like that.
Bro, okay, I disagree. I don't care who he married, if he loved her or not. There is no person. I don't think he is in a position, like with his relationship with his parents, where he would disagree with them under any circumstance, regardless of who it is.
But like, okay, he can disagree, right? But why is he scared? Like, so deathly scared of his parents?
Yeah, great question, but I just want to say that I don't think it has anything to do with Anora and how much he loves her. He's scared regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, you know, people find something worth fighting for. It's not like people just, okay, no rolling eyes. And like, literally, if he did like her, or if he did like anything, like, as a matter of fact, he would fight for it, right? Like, maybe he wasn't allowed to play video games, and he was like, bro, like, this is my passion, and maybe they were like, you know what I'm saying?
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
He loved her, and he was like, I don't care, parents, I'm gonna be in love with her, and he stays in America. Do you think he would choose a life without money just to be with the person that he loved?
Isn't that kind of the point? No, like, kind of,
wouldn't.
like, you have to give up certain things, and that doesn't mean living in America. It means let's
he grew
talk
up
about
like
it.
his whole life.
It means
His
let's
whole-
talk about it. It doesn't always have to boil down to picking between two options. It can be like, how can we make this work? Like, that could be an initial question, right?
Do you think that was an option for Ivan? Do you think his parents would be like, okay, let's compromise?
If he had the balls to say anything, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was
I
like...
think what it is his parents are too controlling. That's just what it is. And, you know, he doesn't, like... He just doesn't have any... I don't know if self-esteem is the right word, but he doesn't have any, like I said, confidence in himself to really, like... You know? Because, like I said, if he truly... I feel like if he truly loved Annie... he would have said something. But instead he was like, no, I'm going to continue being the slave of my parents. And I'll be like, yep, it's done. I'm going back to Russia.
Yeah.
You know? Yep.
You know, he doesn't have the backbone for anything because he really never stands up for anything. Like,
No.
that's why. You're always expecting some kind of, you know, like, your parents to be mad and, like, you know, them to lash out. If you're always doing, like, and if they expect you to do what they tell you to do, then obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be harder for you to have a backbone. Yeah, I hate Ivan. He was rude. He was annoying. He ruined Anora, kind of.
He really did.
Yeah.
There was one scene during the whole when they were looking for Vanya, because you know one of the guys, he slipped on ice and he was suffering from a concussion throughout the entire night, until it got to the point where he puked in the car. Because you know that's what happens. And I don't care what he said, but he said something like, "You care about this boy more than your own men." Like, he was complaining to the men. I wish I remembered what exactly he said, but my God, those guys were just hilarious.
Yeah.
The entire ride.
What do we think about... Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Igor. I feel like I had
Me
a feeling
too.
it was a cosmic level, you know, it's coming into play again.
The cosmic levels.
Now Igor is like, okay, go ahead.
Mary, take it away, please.
No, Minasse, go.
So Igor. So obviously after, you know, they tied her up, and, you know, she resented all of them. After they left the house, there were subtleties of Igor being nice to Annie. Annie still hated his guts.
From the beginning.
But scene after scene, you start to see, okay, he is the opposite of Vanya because he is showing that he cares about this girl. Vanya didn't show any signs of that. When she got cold, he took his jacket off and gave it to her. When she was thirsty, he gave her a glass of wine and there were subtleties of that. And then I guess we'll jump to the end. So in the end, when you know, he drops her off.
So like she loses everything.
And then that's when Annie starts to, you know, find Igor attractive, and then they start,
Was it that? I mean, I guess that's the question.
No,
but
I think everything he did, and the part about his grandmother's, what was his grandmother's thing? Something. It was in the car.
Yeah.
I think that was the cherry on top to get Annie to kind of fall in love with him, but not really, but like be less mean to him and more attracted to him. So when they start to, when she starts to have sex or whatever, and then he tries to kiss her, she resents it, she hits him, and then she cries. How did you guys interpret that? Because for me, there are different meanings to this, but I want to know what y'all think.
I was so confused for a long time. And, something that I really like about this movie is that it had a pretty simple plot, I would say. Not in a bad way. It had a pretty simple plot, but it was a very deep story. And that's one of the things I really liked about it. Like, I wasn't, like, constantly like, what does that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? And so that's one of the things I really enjoyed about it. But at the end, I was like, whoa, I have no idea what the message is here. But ultimately... So I just want to say I love Annie. So I don't want it to come off like I'm roasting her or anything like that. Yeah. But I think what she was, she was down bad, right? Like she lost everything. It didn't work out. This man has been nice to her from the beginning. And she knows that. Girls know when you're being nice. Like, yeah, he's been nice. She's been knowing. She even confronted him at Yvonne's house before he took her back to her house. And she was like, were you trying to do something to me? Da 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 da. And then he was like, I don't think he said anything. He was like, I'm not trying to cause problems. He was just trying to be nice. Then I think another question we can ask later, right after I talk, is, was he trying to get with her from the beginning? But let me finish my thought here. So I think, she was at the lowest point we've seen her the entire movie. And I think she knew he wasn't a bad guy. And I think she just wanted a little bit she just wanted to feel good, I think. And I think it does feel good to be wanted. It feels good to pleasure others. And I think she just wanted a high. And then when he tried to kiss her, she reacted like violently. And I think, kissing is romance, and then just having sex is just having sex. It's just pleasure. And usually, for that matter, mostly for the men, when it's just sex. Because women like the foreplay and the kissing and the cuddling and all that kind of stuff, right? I think when the kissing came in, it was like she became vulnerable all of a sudden, and vulnerability is what got her into this mess. Like, she was hoping, and then the hope turned into the current situation, and then she burst into tears. Yeah. And I think, she's a strong woman from Brooklyn. And, again, she's a sex worker. That's not easy by any means. And I think she just needed to release. I don't know. I think it was just, the whole movie was like a buildup of crazy events. And again, I think it was the vulnerability that led her to this. I think she's rarely vulnerable. I think she just... maybe finally trusted him, the one man she can trust, and then she released it. That's my interpretation. What do you think, Soli?
I think I agree with what you said. I think it ties into how, she initially had this, like, trust with Ivan, where she's like, okay, he's a safe space, I can do whatever. I think it's the same thing with Igor, where, like, he's taking care of her. Like, she likes the fact that he makes her feel safe. It's not about liking Igor. I don't think it's like anything to do with liking him or loving him. It's about how he made her feel, and she felt safe. And, obviously, also a lot of like Annie's relationships are like transactional, if that makes sense. Like, you do something for me,
literally.
I do it for you. Like, that's in the job description, right? So like when Igor gave her that 50-carat diamond ring, that he kept from the engagement, that was kind of the only money they left her with after the divorce. She was like, he did this for me and I feel safe, so like obviously I kind of have to return the favor. And when it got more emotional, and when she saw that he actually was reliable, like, obviously she's going to be repulsed. And I feel like that's backed with a ton of trauma. Like, obviously, girl has been through it, you know. You can tell there are subtle hints throughout the movie where you can get a sense that she hasn't had, like, the easiest time when she was, you know, younger or somewhere before that time. So I think it's she felt vulnerable, and Igor was actually there to take care of her. And I think that's the first time she cried also throughout the movie. Like, it kind of really exemplifies how big of a moment it was for her to, like, just let her guard down, kind of cuddle into him and just, like, let it all out. And he was just there, you know, patting her back. And it was cute. It was heavy. It was very emotional. That's my take. But how about you, Minasse? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. I think both of you gave. I think both of y'all's interpretations of the ending was definitely. You know, I definitely concur with it. I think in the final scene of the movie, yeah. So I think the reason why Annie, you know, starts bawling is because she's like experiencing like a culmination of the emotions after what happened with Vanya and all the subsequent events that occurred. And I think that she's processing that trauma, coming to terms with the reality that this fairy tale is over, and she's reacting to the genuine kindness and emotional vulnerability that she sees with Igor. So I think the reason why maybe she hit him is because maybe she's never experienced that before, because she's been a sex worker her whole life. When a stripper is communicating with a customer or whatever, it's not real. They're doing it just to get the money. So this might be the first time that she felt something genuine, and she's scared of it because this is her first time doing it. Like when we're doing something for the first time, we're hesitant, you know, in life. We're not super confident because we don't know what it's like and whatever. And I think she was scared of that. And so she finally allows herself to release all the stress, the adrenaline, and the anger that she's been holding back. So.
But why did she... Okay, so we agree on why she cried.
Yeah.
Why did she have sex with him?
I think it came down to being a transactional relationship. You give me something, I give you something. Like, you make me happy, this is how I know to make you happy. I think that's what it boils down to.
Why did she want to make him happy?
Because he gave her, he's been taking care of her. He was like, I got you. He gave her the diamond ring. Like, she didn't force him. You know, she beat him. And he's been nothing but, like, mainly kind to her. So I think...
He never asked.
He also never asked. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was really the only one that was, like... You know, like I said, really nice to her from the beginning. Because remember when the scene when they go to Vegas, the parents are there, and they sign the annulment. He literally went up to the parents and said, "Hey, you owe Annie an apology." Like stuff like that.
Yeah, he's been awesome from the get-go.
I think all of that it kind of, you know, lit a little spark in Annie, even though she was still, you know, insulting him and whatever. I think all of that, and then the ring at the end, and then I wish I remembered what he said about his grandmother, but I think that really resonated with Annie. I think all of that made her, you know, made her want to have sex with him.
What's your take, Marinara Sauce?
I think this is the part where we defer. I do resonate with the transactional energy. Like, I think it was just like that's how life is for her. Like, you do something for me, I do something for you. I feel that, and I also do think that little spark that you said, Minasse, I also agree with that because it's been gradual. But I think it was to cheer herself up. The sex part. I really think it was like she was at a low point, and who doesn't like seeing other people being satisfied when you do something for them?
So it's like an adrenaline thing.
It was like a serotonin thing for herself to be like.
That's an interesting.
Everybody wants to be wanted,
right?
And And I think in pleasuring him, seeing you, yourself, whatever. So I think that's how it started. But I think we all have ended at the same point of like why she burst out crying and why she was hitting him. We're all on the same page. But I think the initial move, I also, in this conversation, I was thinking maybe she was like, why doesn't he want me? Like everybody wants me. And because I think everybody is attracted to her, especially knowing that she's a sex worker. Everybody thinks she's available. And he never tried. So maybe it has something to do with that. I haven't fully processed that, but I think that's definitely notable.
I think that's a very good take because he might be the most unique guy that she's encountered out of all of them. Like he didn't like touch her inappropriately. Well, I mean, besides the tying her up and everything, but that was his job. Yeah. That wasn't like whatever. He even looked like he didn't want to do that, but he had no choice.
I don't think he ever. Not that he wasn't attracted to her. I don't think he ever expected to have sex with her.
And
what do you guys
think? He verbalized it, right? She was like, "You just want to be with me," and he was like, "I've never thought about."
Yeah. But do we believe him? I believe him.
I believe him.
No, I believe him. Yeah. I think he's a genuine guy. Yeah, he's the opposite of Vanya.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was the next one. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I mean, funnily enough, I feel like if he was like the one with wealth, I don't think Annie would marry him. That's my hot take. Because his genuineness would actually kind of throw her off. And she'd be like, that's weird. Don't talk to me.
I agree.
Yeah, like his availability, his like want to be there.
She would think that's very suspicious. Because usually, especially in a strip club setting, it's clear. You want me for my body, and I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to give me money because that's what I need. And I think if it wasn't about money, she'd be like, are you trying to kidnap me? I don't... Unless there was an actual vibe there, I'm not sure. But she definitely would be more hesitant. Because Vanya was very straightforward. No. She knew the game. She found an opportunity, and she took it. Yeah.
I do have one interesting question though, and I saw some content creators talk about this, and it never really occurred to me. Do you guys think that the red scarf in the movie symbolized something? Because we kept seeing that red scarf. It was tied to her. She got cold. She wanted that scarf. Like that scarf was there till the end, and some people were like, "What is that? What is that trying to symbolize in the movie?"
It actually did not occur to me that it was like a reoccurring thing.
Yeah. So this is what I found from one of the content creators because as I was getting my notes prepared, this is what one of them said, and let me know if this makes sense to y'all. So he said the red scarf. A recurring motive in the film is the red scarf, which symbolizes both opportunity and oppression. It represents the potential for a better life that Anora believes she's found with Vanya, but also the exploitation she faces in her work and the potential for manipulation within the relationship. So I don't know, that really got me thinking.
It is very symbolic, I would say, because there were moments where, it was initially used to kind of stuff her mouth so she wouldn't scream. And then later on it was given to her when she was cold. And the progression of from oppression to as a symbol of caring and, being taken care of. And I feel like the red in itself, it's a very bold choice of color, right? Like red symbolizes oppression. And then it also symbolizes fertility, if I'm not mistaken. It's just it's the most I feel like out of all the colors, on both on opposite spectrums, it has meanings. So I think what the take definitely makes sense to me.
I agree. I think what really the only thing that sticks with me really is the idea of oppression. How it was used to silence her, and they're like, here, stay warm. It's all the same. It's the same material. It's the same scarf. How it gives and takes. It's she's being controlled essentially. And that's the part that stuck with me. Yeah, but that's interesting. Throughout the film, it didn't stand out to me. But
Yeah,
good catch.
it didn't for me either until I heard other people give their opinions on the film. But yeah,
Good catch.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess.
so as slightly, putting Anora aside just a little bit, just thoughts in general about these stories, like romantic stories. I want to ask, we can ask a couple, but I want to ask, what do you guys think of like whirlwind love stories? Like they meet a week later, they love each other, and then they get married a month later or whatever. Like, is it real? Is it not real? Do they last? Like, how much does time really matter when it comes to love? Do you think?
So not love at first sight. Like it takes time and then you fall in love?
Kind of love at first sight, but like very fast ones.
When it's fast, I don't think it lasts long.
I'm with Minasse.
I think what makes a relationship last long is when you step in the friend zone and then for quite some time you step out of it because you've taken your time to know that person and be like, yep, that's the one. Love at first sight, I mean, yeah, he might be super attractive, but then you get together and then later on you start to realize some of the things that you were blinded by and you're like, oh, he or she's not the one for me. So yeah, I don't think it lasts long that way.
Yeah, I'm with Minasse on this one. Like, it's very rare that we see it works out. And I feel like even for the people that it usually works out, like they know exactly what they want. Like, they weren't completely blindsided by the honeymoon phase. They're like, I like you, but also XYZ. Like these are the things I come with. But yeah, like, it's just everybody wants to feel the high, and you do a lot of like things you might not want to do initially, and that's just a very humanly thing to do. But acting on it is like a whole different thing. Like marriage, like people really need to understand the weight of certain things, right? And before you do that, don't try to be like the movies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do agree. I agree in the sense that you need to know what you want. And if you know what you want, it can be a whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, do you actually know what you want? Because a lot of us think we know what we want, but it's not what we want.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with age. So I think the older you are, it's not a big deal if they're shorter, the get to know each other.
I disagree.
Periods.
I'd have to disagree on that one.
Wait. Are you saying the older you are, the less picky? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, the older you are, the more likely you are to know what you actually want.
So it could be a whirlwind, is what she's trying to imply. I think, if I understood correctly.
It is.
Okay. I disagree with that.
Whirlwind meaning, short, to get to know each other, period. And you're like, okay, he's my husband, or I'm going to marry that girl.
The thing is, you'd think so, but oftentimes people get older, but do they start thinking their age? Big question mark. Like a lot of 40, 50, 30-year-olds still thinking like a teenager, right?
Yeah. Likelihood. Not all.
Right.
I mean,
not all,
obviously, like if you actually mature with your age and you start to frontal lobe actually it's on track. Yeah, then
I agree with Soli there. Yeah. Like, age is not always the factor,
Given you ask your age,
then pop off, right? Like,
I just think even if you do ask your age, it's just more likely that you actually know what you want with experience and with your frontal lobe being developed, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And then it's again, it's all likelihood. It's more likely that it will be successful given how short the get to know each other period is.
Isn't it statistically proven, right? Like if you get married at a younger age versus like in your 30s or blah, 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 like when you were supposed to be more mature, like the marriages in your later years, like last longer and the divorce rates are lower, allegedly.
As opposed to getting married in their 20s? You're saying?
As opposed to like, early 20s, like because, right, like we don't know much about life. We love romance, but do we know what that entails in our younger years?
That's true. That's true. And I'm
Hallelujah.
seeing a lot of people getting married in their 20s, and that's becoming a norm.
I love that for them. You know, like no, but if they know, right? Like, okay, marriage is nice between the two of you, but when kids are involved, when jobs are involved, maybe potentially moving and in-laws, and like
that's a lot.
All that, I don't think a lot of people factor that in. That's my point.
Just raised. So on the whole, I actually don't have any numbers. I don't have statistics for you guys right now, but I know that there's also the idea, and this came from that book that. So guys, there's a, we read a lot of self-help books, so read books. But this was like, I forgot the actual title, but it was like the whole the book about your 20s, like. Minasse, you got that book too, remember?
I did. The one that, yeah.
Yeah, something about, I actually forgot the title, but things you should know about your 20s or whatever. Your 20s aren't as big as a deal as you think they are, kind of vibe. Yeah. It's written, so like one of the chapters is just titled Love, and it is written that the older you get, you'd think automatically that the marriage would be more successful, but there are actually a lot of marriages for convenience the older you are, and therefore it's not always as successful as you think. So again, I don't have the numbers, but it's not like a linear, the older you are, the more likely you are to stay married for the rest of your life.
Hot take. What is so wrong with marrying for convenience? Like, that is...
I'm just saying you're not as... Because, I mean, okay, this is not from the book. This is just me speaking. Mm-hmm. But love, I feel like, love is essential. It's extremely important for a successful marriage. Not enough. And so that's the thing about marrying too young. Sometimes you're just in love and that's all you have. And that might not be enough. But when you're older, you might not have the love and just get married. And then you literally just become roommates. Or you think you're in love. There is love in the beginning, but you get married for convenience. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is not how I wanted. This is not how I imagined my 30s. This is not how I imagined my husband to be. I didn't know he was going to be this kind of dad, etc., etc. And so it's a two-sided sword.
I want to know Minasse's take on this.
I mean, I get both sides, I mean, I don't. It's tough. I don't know if I have like a strong opinion on this. It's like I hear what both of y'all are saying, and it's valid, but like so what was your argument? Just to
so wait, let me phrase it in a question, Minasse.
Yeah.
Do you think that first, let's just start saying, do you think a marriage is, or what do you think about marriages for convenience? Like, okay, maybe we're not super, super in love, but like, I want kids one day, you want kids one day, and we like each other. Maybe we're like casual sexual partners, and let's just get married, and then we can buy a house together, and we can have kids. So it's like, let's get married for the sake of getting married and having a partner, even though you're not super in love. Do you understand?
Oh, I see. Oh, man. So, doing it, but not really falling in love. Like all the other stuff. Okay.
But doing the whole family thing.
I mean, it's definitely unconventional, I'll say that. But, I think it's, I think it's possible. I mean, as long as you're both, reasonable adults, and you may not have to love each other, but you damn sure have to love your children if you're going to have kids. That's for sure. If y'all ain't going to love each other, at least love the kids. So that, and I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, it does sound weird because, like I said, it's not conventional. But I definitely think it's possible to not fall in love, but like check all the boxes of what a conventional marriage is, having kids or whatever. Yeah, so I definitely think it's possible. As long as y'all are both reasonable, you're financially stable, y'all better respect each other. Y'all don't have to love each other, but respect is definitely important. So yeah,
if there's no love, though,
Okay.
You're gonna go looking elsewhere.
No. Let me.
But here's the thing.
It has to be an open relationship if it's like that. That's all I have to say.
And that's okay as
Yeah.
long as you are a good parent to the kids and providing for them. No, it's true. If y'all ain't in love with each other, then I'm going to find love somewhere else, but I'm still going to be a supporter of this family.
Okay,
We're on the same page.
I think that's
okay.
Siblings. Let me say this.
Okay. 2 versus 1. Let's go.
2 versus 1. Okay. I think for the concept of marriage, I think the fact that love is emphasized as the most important thing, it should be thrown out the window. That is one of the things that are like pillars of a marriage, but I don't think it's first place. It might be the second most important thing. The first most important thing is like compatibility, like convenience. Okay, you might be crazy about someone, right? But they might drive you crazy because you love them. Like their lifestyle is not what you want. Their maybe job is not what you want. They don't have the same goals, or like they might not want kids, or blah blah blah, right? Like the things. So you have to align, like in a lot of like fundamental things initially. I think that's the first and most important thing, because that's gonna determine the rest of your relationship, or like the kind of relationship you're gonna have in the future. You have to be aligned with a lot of fundamental stuff. And then loving is like, okay, he's great or she's great, and plus I really like them. I enjoy spending time with them. Love, right? So like there are periods of your life, like according to older people, right? I don't know this personally, but when you have kids, maybe you're not going to have as much time together. When you get promoted, you're not going to spend as much time together. And that love that you used to really, love or really like and enjoy when you had not a lot of responsibilities, it's going to fade away. You're not going to feel the same. And that's a given, right? Like you're not going to spend time. How are you going to love someone if you're not spending time together, if you're not talking, if you're not doing a lot of the things you used to do initially? So like the fundamental thing is like alignment and respect. You're like, okay, right now we don't have time for the lovey-dovey stuff. We're just good roommates and we're supporting each other. And that is a form of love, right? It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So if it's not passionate, if it's not like my heart is beating or blah, 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 is that dead? And I feel like a lot of people mistake that. They're like, oh, the passion said, no, you're just adulting and you're growing and your priorities are realigning. And that should be embraced as part of the process. So that's why like it's important to like emphasize convenience, compatibility, etc., like alignment, and then love is second. Because if you always put love as the first thing in a relationship, whenever it's gone, you're gonna think the relationship is no longer working. Am I right? I don't know. That's kind of my take. What's the take from the siblings?
I don't agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can co-sign that.
I thought you guys were on board.
But he said I can't co-sign that.
No.
Look, I think maybe we're using the different terminology, but
Okay.
ultimately, I agree with you that your heart is not gonna be burning for them daily until you're 80 years old. Not true.
Yeah.
But I don't think love means your heart is burning daily. I think we're human beings. We want affection. We want all these things. And if love is gone from a marriage for an extended period of time, you will no longer want to be in that relationship. It will turn into a friendship. And you will go looking elsewhere for a romantic relationship. So when I say love, I don't mean physical. I don't mean, but like I need to be in love with that person. I hope I'm still in love with that person. Again, you might have phases. It could be year-long phases, multiple years. It could be weeks. It could be months. But if I fall out of love with a person, that relationship, if you do stay together, it's not going to be a functional one. But so I think maybe we're just defining love differently. And on the idea of compatibility, Demo, I totally think it's important. I mean, it's extremely important because I will say again and again on every single episode of this podcast, just being in love with each other is not enough. Yeah. But without love, that's not a relationship. I mean, like you will be looking elsewhere. And I mean, you'll maybe be looking elsewhere even if you still love the person. I'm not saying this is the cure to fidelity or infidelity, whatever. But you will be unsatisfied. Because this is apparently, I mean, if it's marriage, hopefully it's your whole life, right? And, you know, we're human beings at the end of the day. So I think maybe it's a terminology thing, but you need love, but love is not enough. Compatibility is extremely important for a function. Without compatibility, there's no functional relationship. I'm with you on that.
Right.
I have a very important take on that. I don't think you need love. I don't think it's a need. I don't think it's a need because when you put it that way, if you think love is a need, obviously the second or like the moment you're feeling that it's gone, right, you're going to seek it elsewhere. You have to come to terms with the fact that love can show itself in different ways. The love that I feel for my siblings versus my friend versus my partner, completely different, right?
Romantic only.
But the thing is, with your partner, it shouldn't be like just romantic love. It can be like respectful love. Some days, like with my sister, she's very touchy. Some days, if she touches me, I just no. You know, like there are some days where it's not happening. Maybe weeks. You know, like maybe months where I'm just not in the right headspace for whatever kind of love she's ready to give me, or the kind of love I'm trying to receive, right? So it's about like understanding, and I think this is very like heavily emphasized in new moms, especially because they're just going through it. There's a lot of postpartum depression, like. Their body looks different, you know, their man, like all of that jazz that you used to think was important out the window, right? So like for the longest times, like new moms for up to a year, they're just not, you know, they're not in that headspace. Like they're not physical touchy. Maybe emotionally they're like, stay away with me.
Still in love. I'm losing you.
It all depends on the love language at the end of the day.
Like kind of love language, yeah, but like love can be understanding. Love can be okay right now for these few years. This is what we're gonna prioritize. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about like love as a need, when you think about love as a need, obviously you're gonna go seek it elsewhere because you're like, well, all the forms of love that I thought, you know, were supposed to be love, like from a partner perspective, they're not there. So you're gonna seek it.
Yeah, I think ultimately we just need to redefine love.
Yeah,
that's it.
Love has many definitions. Now, as we're having this conversation, it's become such an intricate, complex word now. You know, it's crazy.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was kind of just like, you know, yeah, I want to marry an attractive woman, but after I'm married, if I see an attractive woman. Like, it's up, like, there are going to be a lot of attractive women, but it's up to me to kind of just be like, that's not mine. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for him to kind of just rearrange his thoughts. And that's kind of the same way with love, right? Like,
just for her body?
No.
Yeah,
like,
that's going to end fast.
I think it's just like a very, like, if someone is giving you the love that you think is missing, right? It's up to you, like, to receive it or to be like, hey, like, I know there's love there, but maybe right now it's not showing the way that I want it to. And that's a conversation to be had with your partner, etc., whatever. Love is always going to be shown. It's up to you to receive it the way that is, like, right to you.
Bro, if for example, again, there are times, like, postpartum depression is a great one, where they're not showing any love. It could be a matter of years.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. But it's going to be hard on the other person, but the other person has to say, I love this woman, and I know she's going through it, and I'm not going to leave. Yeah. But if after the depression ends or whatever, and she's still not, if there's no love, then I eventually will leave this relationship. If he doesn't love me...
Boils down to conversations. Like, if you're having these...
Yeah, you know how, like, this idea of everybody's like, you still need to date your husband, date your wife? You need to exercise that love. Exercising that love and is what keeps a relationship going.
Right.
Agreed.
It doesn't mean I'm going to be on, like, showing you all this affection all the time.
But
hopefully, like, the love is real. It won't be fragile.
But the thing is, like, you seek it out if you're not receiving it from the partner, right? Like, and
Love is a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. I'm with you. You have to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be faithful to this man because I love him and da-da-da-da-da-da.
And if
But
you
also
don't,
the other way
you
around.
end it and move on.
Like, I mean, yeah, that's true. You have to end it. But also there has to be an element of saying, hey, I don't think I'm receiving, like, love from you. Like, I don't, maybe you're showing it and maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Right.
So, like, you know, like, how can I show up better for you and how can you show up better for me? After you have that conversation and they feel to show up, look elsewhere. Look up, down, left, right.
For sure.
But it's a conversation.
In the relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
See, now there's something that all three of us agree with.
I agree.
Oh, damn. Sorry, that was thunder. Oh my god.
Yeah, I heard it too.
It's raining?
We were having such a nice day today, and now there's thunder. I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow. Damn.
Oh, it's like really hot over here.
Damn.
I think it's like it's a thunderstorm because it was so hot today.
Oh, gotcha.
High humidity.
Yeah, I don't think it's raining. Because when I checked, it's not raining. It's just...
Oh, a little cozy vibe going on. Love that.
But anyways, lovely conversation.
Lovely.
I hope the viewers, guys, comment. Let us know. What are your thoughts? Yes, please.
Was Anora in love?
But I think we should start wrapping it up, guys. But it was, I mean, even the Anora conversation was great. The discussion was awesome. There's more to unpack, but we need to wrap up, obviously. So let's rate the film, Cut to the Feels meter.
So how does the Cut to Feels meter work?
So basically, it's from 0 to 100. It's like a Rotten Tomatoes meter kind of thing, but Cut to the Feels meter. Okay. And we say it all at the same time. Yeah. And then we react.
All right.
But let's give each other a couple seconds just to think. I'm ready.
Okay,
I got it.
Okay.
All right. So, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
No, 3, 2, 1, say it. Okay.
3, 2, 1. 87.
85. Wait, what did you say, Minasse?
I said 89. What did you say?
87, and then she said 85.
85.
Okay.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, 89.
That was good. Yeah, no, it was a wonderful movie. It really was a wonderful movie.
It was great. And it was amazing having Minasse as an audience.
Thank you, guys.
A very great first guest. And hopefully this wouldn't be the last
Wouldn't
time.
do it any other way, Minasse.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your feedback every episode, your recommendations.
Your support. It
means so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. This was very fun. Hot Seat was good. Loved reviewing the movie. And keep it going.
Love it. Yeah, hopefully
I'll join again, depending on what
you will. Oh, you definitely will.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's not a one and done.
No, sure. But y'all need to get more guests. I've said this to Mary.
Oh, we have a list.
Yes, it makes the episodes more entertaining. Yeah.
You're right, and we do have a list, so you have to look out.
We're focusing on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna be more consistent with our uploads, and there are people that we've already communicated with. We just have been slow, but we're on it now. We're on it. More guests to come for sure.
Awesome. And do more of those games that I recommended to you before, like the drafts. I think the drafts will be really good.
Yeah.
Blind rankings. All that. Yeah.
Those are really good.
Like I said, we're switching up the format just a little bit, so we're gonna have more space and time for games and things like that. So definitely, Minasse, we really cherish all your recommendations. I hope you don't think that we're not listening. We're listening.
We're taking it very seriously. Yeah.
Sounds good.
But thank you for coming today, and we hope everybody enjoyed this episode. We hope it was an incentive to watch Anora. And we'll catch you all on the next episode. Ciao.